Thank you, students. Let's do some numericals of chapter Force and the Laws of Motion, which are based on conservation of momentum. In last lecture, I explained you what is the conservation of momentum and what is this law, and how can we apply this law in different numerical. So again, we are going to do some numerical based on the conservation of momentum. The numerical is a car A having the mass of 1500 kg. So this is the mass of a car. So let the mass of the car is represented by m1. We know that the mass is always represented by m. So m1, we are taking the mass of the car, which is 1500 kg, traveling at 25 meter per second. It means it is the initial velocity of the car. It is 25 meter per second. So initially the car was moving with a speed of 25 meter per second, collide with another car. So another car means having the mass of 1000 kg. So mass of the another car is, we are representing the mass of another car by m2. So we know that in conservation of momentum, we have two different objects which collide with each other, and due to the collision or due to the force exerted by both the objects, their velocity changes. So these are the two car A and car B, and we are representing these cars by taking 1 and 2 mark. So for the car B, mass m2 is equal to 1000 kg. This is the mass of the another car, traveling at 15 meter per second. So this is the initial velocity of another car. It is 15 meter per second. In the same direction, both are moving in the same direction. If in the question, if you have that they are moving in different direction, opposite direction, I explain you that what will you do? You will write the velocity with the opposite sign. If they are moving in the same direction, it means they have the velocity with the same sign. That is, if you are representing the velocity of this car by positive sign, again this car also will have a positive velocity. Or if they are moving in opposite direction like this, so if we are representing its velocity with positive sign, then we have to represent its velocity by negative sign. So filhal, in this case, it is not given that they are moving in opposite direction. It is given that they are moving in the same direction. It means both of them having the velocity of positives, with having the velocity with positive sign. After collision, the velocity of the car A becomes 20 meter per second. So after collision, velocity changes. Velocity of the car 1 is equal to 20 meter per second, and for another car you have to find the velocity. Okay, this figure is not for this question. This was the example for those question in which the velocity of the other bodies, different bodies having the different directions. So okay, you have to find the velocity of the car 2. Now we know that if the two bodies collide with each other, their total momentum remain conserved. It means the momentum before the collision, that is m1 u1 plus m2 u2, is equal to the momentum after the collision, total momentum after the collision, that is m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So here you have to write according to the law of conservation of momentum. So now we can put the value, like m1 is 1500 into u1 is 25 plus m2 is 1000, multiply with the u2 is how much? Okay, it is u2 15 is equal to m1 1500, multiply with the v1 is 20, and plus m2 is 1000 into v2 we have to find. Okay, now we can solve it. 25 15 ja, it will be 25 5s are 175, 17 carry, 25 5s are 125, 12 carry, 25 125 12 37. Okay, plus 15,000 is equal to 15 to the 30 plus 1000 v. So after solving it by adding both terms, we will get 52500 is equal to 30,000 plus 1000 v. Then we can put this value here by changing its sign towards the LHS is equal to 1000 v. After subtracting this value, we will get how much? It is 225 is equal to 225 is equal to 1000 V. Then for finding the value of V, we will put this 1000 below 225. So V is equal to divided by 1000, 225 divided by 1000, 1212. It will be 22.5 meter per second. So such type of numericals you will have in this part, that is a conservation of momentum. Okay, few more examples. Example 2. A bullet of mass. I explained you the example of bullet and gun in last video. Now, a bullet of mass 10 gram moving with the velocity of 400 meter per second. So the velocity, the mass of the bullet m1, we are representing the mass of the bullet. This is bullet, about the bullet, and having the mass of 10 gram. We know that we have to represent the mass in kilogram. So we will say 10 upon 1000 kg. Yes. With the velocity of 400 meter per second, the initial velocity is 400 meter per second. Get embedded in a freely suspended wooden block. This is not the question of gun and the bullet, because I explained this example of bullet and gun in last video. So this bullet is fired from a gun and it get embedded in a freely suspended wooden block, and this wooden block having the mass of 900 gram. So when it strike a wooden block, it get embedded in it. It means it get embedded, and after covering some distance, it stop. So for the wooden block, we can say that the mass of the block, we are representing it by m2. Mass of the block is how much? It is 900 gram. Again, we know that the mass should be in kilogram, so we will convert it into kilogram by dividing it by 1000. Yes. So it is 9 upon 10 kg. Okay. So this is the mass of the block. And initially the block was freely suspended and do not have any velocity. It means the initial velocity of the wooden block is 0. Now the question, what is the velocity acquired by the block? Again, I am reading the question. A bullet of mass 10 gram moving with a velocity of 400 meter per second get embedded in a freely suspended wooden block of mass 900 gram. What is the velocity acquired by the block? It means due to this bullet, the wooden block will acquire some velocity. Now if it get embedded in the block, it means both of them will have the same velocity. So V1 and V2 will have same. So we can write it like V. V is the final velocity of both the bullet as well as the wooden block. So according to the conservation of momentum, you will write here according to conservation of momentum. According to conservation of momentum. So according to conservation of momentum, m1u1 plus m2u2 is equal to m1v1 plus m2v2. That is the initial momentum of both the bodies is equal to the final momentum, the sum of the final momentum of both bodies. So m1 is 10 upon 1000, we can write it 1 upon 100 into u1 is 400 plus m2 is 9 upon 10 and u2 is 0 is equal to m1 1 upon 100. So what we have to do, we have to put only the values of we have to put the values of different having different mass and having the different velocities. So we have to put values here. 9 upon 10 multiply with the v. So we can take v as a common here. V will be common. It will be 1 upon 100 plus 9 upon 10. And here we can solve it. It will be 4 plus 0. 4 plus 0 means 4. So 4 is equal to v multiply with, we can solve it by taking LCM. it will be 91 upon 100. 91 upon 100. So what is the value of V? A simple calculation, V is equal to 4 into 100 upon 91. So it will be near about 4.4 meter per second. So these are some numerical of this chapter, that is chapter force in the laws of motion. Now I'm going to start the new chapter of physics, that is the gravitation. So a new chapter is gravitation. Gravity, you know that when something falls on from the roof of our house, it always moves towards the ground. So why always all the things move towards the ground? It is due to the gravity, due to the gravitational force exerted by the earth on that object. So this is called the gravity. Actually, this is the gravitational force exerted by the earth on the object. So if we drop a stone from a particular height, it moves toward the earth due to the gravitational force exerted by the earth on this stone. So this is one of the part of gravitation. Gravity is not only exerted in between the earth and the object. Gravitational force exerted in all the objects in our universe. It means if two bodies are here, body A and body B, it's not necessary that both are planets, should be planet or should be stars. Both will have some gravitational force between them. It means, just for example, this is a pen and this is a notebook. This pen and this notebook also have some gravitational force between them. Yes, the gravitational force is not so enough so that it changes the velocity of this. It can attract this pen or this notebook towards itself. So towards each other, sorry. So this is called the gravitational force. So in our universe, all the objects attract each other, and this is called the gravitational force. So we can write the definition of gravitational force like this. Okay, I'm going to write the definition here. According to Newton, actually Newton, the first scientist who first explained about the gravity. So this is also called the Newton's gravitational force. So according to Newton, every object in this universe, attract every other object with a certain force. And the force with which two objects attract each other is called the gravitational force. So it's not necessary that gravitational force only exert in between the earth and the objects. It is experienced by all the objects in the universe. Is called the gravitational force. Or gravity. It is also called gravity. So okay. Now we will understand what is the universal law of gravitation. Universal law of gravitation was given by Newton. Universal law of gravitation. First try to understand what is the meaning of universal law of gravitation. So according to this law, there are two objects having the mass m1 and m2. Suppose we have two objects having the mass m1 and m2. These object can have any mass and they are placed at a distance of r from each other. We can say d. The distance between them is d. So according to Newton, he says that the force exerted between these two objects is directly proportional to the product of their masses, that is m1 and m2. and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. It means by increasing the distance between them, the force of attraction will be decreases. So according to Newton, the force exerted between these two objects is depend on their masses. It actually is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So we can say that the force is depend on the mass. Larger the mass, larger will be the force. So here in this case, we are taking an example of this pen and this notebook. Since both of them having this less mass, are very, it means having the few gram of mass. So due to which the force exerted between them is very less, and they are not going to attract to each other. Having some force between them, but it's not enough to move the pen, sketch pen towards the notebook, or this notebook move towards the pen. So the earth and on any other object, since the mass having the mass of the earth is so large, so we can say the force between the earth and the other object is so high, so that it can attract any other object towards itself. So we will write the universal law of gravitation. According to the universal law of gravitation, first you will write it, this law was given by the Newton, and according to him, every object, every body in the universe attract every other body, attract every other body with a force which is directly proportional to, directly proportional means if we increase this value, this will also increases. Inversely proportional means if we increase this value will decreases. So is directly proportional to the product of their masses, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, So only writing this law is not enough. You also have to derive the universal law of gravitation along with the law. So in derivation you will write, let the mass of the one of the object is m1. Okay, so you will write, let the mass of one object is m1 and other object is m2, and they are placing at the distance of d from each other. Again I am telling you that you will write the derivation along with this law, that is, let the two bodies having the mass m1 and m2, you can write it in your notebook, that let two bodies having the mass m1 and m2 are placing at a distance of d from each other. You can pause video for writing this one. Okay, now you will write that F is directly proportional to m1 and m2. This is the equation 1. And then you will write F is inversely proportional to 1 upon d square. This is the equation 2. And you will say that by these two, equation 1 and 2, by this equation, F is directly proportional to the m1 m2 upon d square. Okay, before writing all these terms, you have to write the meaning of these all terms, that is what is F, what is m1, m2 and d, all these. So F is directly proportional to the m1 m2 upon d square. Again, for removing the sign directly proportional, we have to apply some constant here. So I am writing the constant g, not I am writing in this law we have to write the constant g m1 m2 upon d square, and g is a constant. If we remove this sign, if we want to remove this sign directly proportional, we have to apply some constant. So in this part we have to apply a constant g. And what is g here? G is a constant. It is also called universal gravitational constant. G is called the universal gravitational constant. So you will write here where g is universal gravitational constant. So, okay, so this is all the derivation of universal of gravitation. Now try to understand these by taking more examples, like what will happen if these are the two bodies having the mass m1 and m2 and placing at the distance of d, and the force of attraction between them is F. So what will happen if we increase the mass of one of the bodies by 2 times? It means now this body m1 having the mass 2m1. So what will happen? What should be the change in the force of attraction between them? So just write it, 2m1. Now the mass of the body 1 is 2m1. It means the mass is double, one of the body having the double mass. So F2 will be 2 into g m1 m2 upon r square. Initially the force of attraction between them is this one, and now it's this one. We can write in place of g m1 m2 upon d square, we can write it like F1, because this is the force of attraction acting between the two objects. So we can say by double the mass of one of the body, the force of attraction between two objects will be double. And what will happen if we change the distance between them? Suppose we move the other body from first one by 2 times. It means by increasing the distance between them, by increasing it by 2 times. Suppose now the distance between them is 2d. Initially the distance was d. So now we are not changing the mass of the body. Now we are changing the distance between them. We are going to double the distance between them. I am writing it like F3. F3 is equal to g m1 m2 are same. We are not going to change the mass of the body, and the distance between them is twice. Now it is 2d square. So it will be g m1 m2 upon 4d square, and I am placing 1 upon 4 aside. It will be g m1 m2 upon d square. And we know that we proved that g m1 m2 upon d square is the initially the force between them. So we can say now the force become 1 upon 4 times the initial one. It means if we change the distance between the two objects, it's the force of attraction changes by square times, or we can say reciprocal of the square times. It means if you double the distance between them, the force will become 1/4 time. Or if you make the distance between them is half, it means initially it was the distance d, and finally you put the object at the distance of d upon 2. It means half the distance as it was initially. We make the distance half of initial one. Initially it was d and finally we make it d upon 2. Then we will find that the force of attraction between them will become 4 times. So it means the mass, by changing the mass of the bodies or by changing the distance between them, we can change the force of attraction between the two bodies. So okay, let's understand what is the g. What is the unit of g? Okay, first understand what is the unit of g. F is equal to g. What is g? G is the universal gravitational constant. So g should be equal to F into d square upon m1 into m2. So what should be the unit of g? We know that the SI unit of force is Newton and distance is meter square and mass is kilogram into kilogram, that is kg square. So what should be the unit of universal gravitational constant? It is Newton meter square per kg square. This is the unit of universal gravitational constant. And can you define it? How can you define it? We can define it like that. If we are taking two objects having the mass of 1 kg. These are the two objects having the mass of 1 kg. Now we are placing the object at a distance of 1 meter from each other. We can put this value here. in the universal gravitational constant, we will get that F is equal to G, m1 is 1 kg, m2 is again 1 kg upon 1 square. So we will get F is equal to G. It means the force of attraction acting between two objects having the mass of 1 kg and placing at a distance of 1 meter is equal to the universal gravitational constant. If we are placing two objects having the mass of 1 kg and at the distance of 1 meter, then the force of attraction acting between them will be equal to the universal gravitational constant. And by experiment we find that the value of this G is equal to 6.67 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. This is also called the universal gravitational constant because this value do not changes in universe. We can't change this value of G in whole universe. Either we change the mass of the object or we change the distance between them. The force of attraction will be changes, but the value of G do not changes anywhere. So this is called the universal gravitational constant because it is constant in the universe. So okay, we have started the new chapter gravitation, and before this I explained you some numerical of chapter force and laws of motion. I thought that you will have some doubts in this numerical, in type of numericals, because I have discussed only one numerical of this chapter. Now again I have to start the chapter gravitation. In this part I have explained you what is gravitation, what is gravity, and then the universal gravitation, universal law of gravitation. It is very important. Who gave this law? Newton gave this law, and according to this law we explained that F is equal to G m1 upon m2 upon r square, and we know that how the force of attraction between the two bodies is depend on the masses as well as the distance between them. Okay, next video I will explain you some numerical based on this law. Okay, till then, bye.